Paddy Borton there on the screen.
That was a red mess.
That was thick hair. There he is. Look at him.
A red mess.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder how
I love a redhead.
It's a fiery red there too.
Yeah.
They were celebrating last night, the Eels, 40 years since that 1983 grand final victory over the Manly Seagulls. We were just speaking the ad-break, Gal, you were two.
Yep, 2 years old. I was born in
83.
81, so I was 2, yeah.
Sam, you were...
There was a twinkle in my father's eye. I wasn't not born at that point in time.
But Joey, you remember it, you were 9.
Yeah, I was 9. Yep, I can remember where we're at. We're at one of my dad's friends' houses. Remember watching it. It was a big occasion. Yeah, because my dad's mate was a big Parramatta fan, so it was big celebrations. Well,
I was
it was always a celebration.
I was at the ground last night. They were pumped to be there. I think there was 30 players within 33 that were invited to go. Some just couldn't make it, so that's a huge turnout. And interviewed John Muggleton, who was actually one of my teachers at school. He played at the time, and obviously Sterlo came up the box and had a chat too, so it was good to see him. But they were all so excited to be there and very, very pumped. They get their rings. Obviously, the rings weren't a thing back in the day, so they've all picked up a premiership ring. So well done. It was a great day out there for them.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Eels won.
Yeah, and it's great to see them all, that they catch up. I remember speaking to Sterlo about it. He says it's always such a great occasion because, you know, throughout the year, not a lot of them get to catch up with each other, but they were all out there last night. And we'll have a special feature with the old boys next week here on the Sunday Footy Show. So Sterlo will be returning to our screens, and I'm hearing that he might have a special message for us as well. So looking forward to that one next week. But then, of course, I don't know why that's on you.
What have I done?
Maybe it's a special message for you. But getting on to that game, the Eels, they made it 4 wins in a row with that dominant display, 34-4 in the end over the Seagulls. And it was Parramatta who were also missing a number of key players, both of their halves.
Moses, Dylan Brown, Jr. So this guy's scoring here, Bailey Simonson. He's taking his game to a whole new level this year. He's playing really impressive. Once again, Clint Gutherson's the heart and soul of that place. You know what you're going to get. He was a million miles an hour. I thought it was a really good team effort by Parramatta.
Yeah.
Parramatta at the 4th position.
Yeah.
Like 6 weeks ago, I thought they were dead set
They've
gone.
snuck. They've
Mate,
snuck
they
up
were,
there,
they were
yeah.
absolutely, they were terrible. I remember they got beaten by Canberra and I think the Titans, and they looked ordinary, like really, really bad. And I thought they were absolutely gone. They've come back. They've won 4 in a row. They've got a great for and against. I'm pretty sure they got the second best for and against in the competition. So I was pushing them up to 4th position.
Yeah.
So
they were in that bottom 8, but their for and against, they were plus and plus something.
I think they're plus 100 now. They're plus over 100.
They were plus
they're going
71.
well.
Yeah.
In saying that, I was at the game last night. This was an absolute fluke. He has not meant this. We'll get Joey's thoughts on his kicking game after this. But I've got to say, Manly were terrible. Manly had a great forward pack in last night. They were pretty dominant last week, but they did not show up yesterday at all. They were really bad. Their forwards were dominated from the opening whistle, and Manly weren't impressive one bit. They were pretty ordinary, actually.
I loved Hopgood. He was absolutely
Yeah, he's a good
brilliant.
player, eh?
Gun.
Queenslander too. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know, I've
Apologise
heard
for
about that.
Yeah.
How about the kick, Sivo's kick? He didn't mean that, did he?
No, it was an absolute fluke. Like, if you got hold of it, it would have been gone out of the stadium. You see the size of those legs. In particular, I want to wrap up Ryan Madison. Played 5'8", right, but didn't complicate his game. He played like a back rower and just ran the ball. And Dejan Arce. I watched him. He debuted with Hemiso at Penrith one day for the Cowboys, and he killed it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he's been in the wilderness.
Yeah, Mustard, they call him.
But geez, he played well. He's got a lot of class. Is he got a touch footy background? Because his ball playing, exceptional.
Most probably.
But Ryan Madison, he was really good. Knew his job, didn't complicate his game.
Well, he almost played like a ball-playing lock. Yeah, and yeah, he was. He was very good at what he did.
Exactly. His first touch of the game, he kicked the ball. They just replayed it. Then he kicked the ball and went dead by a mile. And I remember thinking at the time, he's got to play like a running lock. And someone, I don't know if a trainer went out and told him, but without doubt, the rest of the game, that's exactly how he played.
The kicking licence was torn up.
Kicking licence was gone. and he passed selectively. He didn't overplay his hand in the passing game, and he ran, which was what he needed to do, because he's a big body. He's a big man, Ryan Madison.
Yeah.
You know much of Arce? Dejan Arce?
No, he was a young kid that came through the ranks in Townsville. I think maybe JT might have some fingerprints on him, maybe from back in those days. But yeah, he's a good young talent, and yeah, he definitely has been in the wilderness for a little while, and you know, if he can get a few more first-grade games in over the next kind of few weeks, who knows? There's another halfback that might be able to be out there in the market.
It's good to see him back in action. But for the Seagulls, Anthony Seibold, the coach, said after the game that his side's lack of effort was disappointing. He described the game as frustrating, and then he went on to say that at the moment the team is a one step forward and takes 2 steps back. Obviously referring to what went on last week. They had that huge win over the Dolphins, and then a performance like this. What do you see as the issue?
They came into that Dolphins game with the greatest game plan ever. They kicked in behind them, and they played with a lot of energy and effort. Yeah, it was at home at 4 Points Park, but they've got to do that consistently, and that's where Manly have really kind of let themselves down, let their fans down as well, as they've just been so inconsistent in what they do. When they turn one on, they can really turn it on. But in this game last night, they were just really poor.
It was a long time ago now. They beat the Melbourne Storm up, and when they play well, they beat teams up. When they play bad, they're non-existent. Their forwards, like they're really struggling to win away from Brookvale. That's where they struggle. They played well there.
Yeah.
Anytime they're away from home, they're ordinary.
Because it was that big win over the Storm. That was a brutal clash.
Brutal.
And that was at Brookhead. And the big win over...
When they play tough, they're so big and so physical throughout the forwards, and they can put it on anyone. Like, they really can put it on any team in the competition, but just so inconsistent. Like, they are terrible away from home, and their forwards yesterday were just non-existent. They were really bad.
Well, they've just shown everyone their cards now, though. So, you know, they're a team that bullies other teams out of the game, but when you face the bullies head-on, they're non-existent really in the game. So, yeah, I know they've got some stuff to work on over there at Manly.
Yeah, but it was a great win for the Parramatta Eels. They'll certainly be celebrating, especially the old boys today. Might be waking up a little bit dusty.
They'll be feeling old today.
They will be feeling old.
TC, hello. He'll be back on it. He'll be straight back on it, TC.
Yeah, like back in the old days, just, you know, go through. Well, we just have some breaking news before we do get into the Knights and the Roosters game. You actually broke the tally. So it was actually more money was donated, but they couldn't fit it all on the screen. So we're actually at $13,100. Well done.
There you go.
Sammy?
There you go. So you nearly more than doubled it.
Yeah, that's what I do. You know, I was actually surprised my little buzzer worked to get in the door today, but no, that's why I'm here raising.
Well done, $13,100 donated to the Got You for Life Foundation. So good job, Sammy. We might have to get you back on.
I can just come in every Sunday and do Freddie's pass off if you want.
You want to do Carl Stefanovic's Today Show?
Yeah,
You've got to
why
get
not?
in here at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I'll still be awake by then.
How would you go at that job, Joey?
No good.
That's what Carl does anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Rolls in after a big night.
All right, well, let's get on to the Knights and the Roosters game. 18-16 in the end. The Roosters, what did we make of their performance, first of all, in this one?
I thought they were courageous, really courageous. They scrambled well. Look, the Knights, they left about half a dozen genuine tries out in the field. Whether it was their last pass they couldn't find or was the scramble, the Roosters. But they were brave, the Roosters. Joey Manu pretty much played him on his own. He was absolutely sensational, Joseph Manu. But in the end, they took their chances and the Knights didn't. Kalen Ponga. Look, Kalen is so brilliant with the ball. He makes the break. Other fullbacks set up the outside backs and then the fullbacks support and score. Because Kalen is so brilliant, he's the one that gets through the line. We haven't got that. We can't find that last pass because Kalen is the one making the break all the time. Got to take their chances, the Knights. Here's Kalen.
Joey, do you like him better at fullback?
Yes.
And will we see him in playing 5'8"
Never.
at some point in time?
Never again.
You want to leave him there?
No, I was quite vocal about it from day one.
Yeah.
Fullback's the spot. Would you move Tedesco
No.
at the peak of his powers? Would you move Billy Slater? Would you move Sam Thaiday to 5'8" at his best?
They
Maybe.
did. Yeah.
Well, what do you see as the best makeup for the Roosters? Obviously, well, Joey Manu, he was so impressive at fullback, but you got James Tedesco coming back
Well,
there.
Teddy goes back to fullback.
Yeah, so where does Manu fit in? Obviously, Luke Keary is now
Well, he's
looking
gone
like
for the year by the look of it. He'll be, if he has an operation, Keary will be 8 to 10 weeks.
They
Look,
had
Sam
Sanders-
Walker has to come back in. Sam Walker can do it all as a halfback, as an on-ball halfback. So then what you have is Tedesco and also Joseph Manu just running. But they need Sam Walker back. He can control it all. He's that good a young.
Manu in the 6.
Manu at 6,
Manu's
Teddy
in
at
the 6,
4.
Teddy at fullback, and they just play. And Manu's plays just like a running role and just let
Running.
Walker steer the ship.
Walker does everything, but then they need more attack out of dummy half. They need more from Brendan Smith. and Jake Turpin. So attack more at a dummy half with 2 dummy halves.
Yeah.
But Sam Walker does it all. He's everywhere, does everything, and Tedesco and Marnie just run.
Yeah, Brendan Smith's still out for a little
Another
while.
month, I think,
Yeah,
with
with
a
the broken
broken
thumb. Yeah, so yeah, he's a big out for him as well.
What about Sandon Smith? Only a few games into his career.
He was good.
What did you make
He was really
of
good. He was tough. One thing about young halfbacks, you can't teach them how to be tough. You can teach them the game management and that sort of things, but he likes to run. He took the line on. Defensively, he was strong, so you can see a future in Sam. I haven't seen really too much of him, but what I saw yesterday, they put enough work in and he works and make the sacrifice, then he looks an NRL half, 5'8".
How's his kicking style?
Better than Sivo's. A lot better. And a lot better than Jack Cogger's goal kicking. Hey, Jack.